Well, hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Muzyka Show. We're kicking off the new year with a series of Power Thoughts, a new format here on the show. It's a ballpark 1 to 3 minute point of reflection. Although last week my power thought was, more like 7 minutes. But hey, when the Holy Spirit starts moving, you go with it, right? But normally it's going to be about a few minutes. And pretty quick here, we're going to get back to some more hot takes and regular episodes with some pretty interesting topics this season. So stay tuned. This week, I want to leave you with this thought. We have immense power to change the world around us. Everything we choose, there is a ripple effect. No man here is truly an island. Nothing drove this idea home more ironically for me than when I went to a brown bag lunch presentation one day in law school with one of my professors who was explaining how it was possible for a decision like Roe versus Wade, the infamous Supreme Court case that imposed abortion on demand on all 50 states for nearly 50 years, to become the law of the land in the United States. I remember him saying, we would all love to believe that the judiciary, that the Supreme Court is independent. But in reality, judges are people just like you and me. And law tends to follow culture being the hearts of the people. Yes, one pours into the other. Some people keep the law as their moral compass. And either way, we are all greatly influenced by the law. So again, one can affect the other. But overall, he said, look at the Supreme Court, and it's often split 5-4 or 6-3 decisions. Again, the courts tend to be a reflection or a microcosm of the culture. So the good news here is that as you and I stand up, show up, advocate, and educate, we have hope to reach people and slowly change the law. Think about it. When Roe versus Wade was handed down, there was already a movement of the people to receive and accept that decision. And when Dobbs was handed down and overturned Roe a few years ago, there was already a movement of the people that made that decision possible. In other words, everything you and I had done to that point to advocate for life and to change the game in our local communities and beyond, it mattered. It had a ripple effect. And again, if what I'm saying is kind of, hard to put together right now, at the very least, keep in mind that we elect the people who nominate and confirm the justices. There's a direct connection here, right? So we change hearts and minds. People vote differently. So my key thought is this. If we want to change, say, our state's policy on abortion, then we have to get out there and be a witness and have those hard conversations. We have to plant seeds. It really starts as simple as that. And, when you think back to past elections, we can see that people don't really vote as states. It's not like a state is all blue or all red, right? People tend to vote in communities. And so if that's true, right, then it means that we are greatly influenced by our peers. And abortion-free communities lead to abortion-free states, which build abortion-free nations. So again, you have people in your backyard that only you can reach. Can we believe that we were put here for such a time as this and our voice is needed? Can we trust that we are where we are for a reason? So again, if all of this is true, I just encourage you to keep getting out there, build relationship, and be a witness. We need you. All right. Well, with that, see you next Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central here on the Muzyka Show. Thanks so much for joining me this week.